Let's talk about the big story that we're tracking tonight. The news that you heard first on ET Now is now official. Vijay Mallya won't turn up to answer ED queries tomorrow. The former liquor baron has sought time till early April to appear before the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in the Kingfisher fund siphoning case. Remember, Mallya was summoned for a personal hearing tomorrow, and this comes on a day when the CBI has decided to expand the scope of the probe to cover all Kingfisher transactions since 2004.
And there's some more on Mallya Gate. Banks are in for a big disappointment as their hopes of selling the Kingfisher headquarters in Mumbai were dashed today with not a single participant in the auction process that was held today. Market sources say that 150 crore rupee reserve price was way too high than the market value of the property, which is around 50 crore rupees. Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate continued to question key aides of Vijay Mallya for a fourth day in a row, even as it prepares to grill IDBI officials in the coming days. The big developments in the Mallya scam and the Mallya Gate is a top story right here on India Tonight.
And we've got the best reporting team tracking that story and covering all angles of that big story. Joining us live on India Tonight. Two mega news breaks of the day, and both broke first on ET Now. Let's take it across first to Vijay Ganeshan Iyer, who broke that big story on Mallya not showing up and seeking more time from the Enforcement Directorate. Vijay, the indications were that he would seek more time, and now it's official. He's not going to appear tomorrow.
Absolutely, Sandeep. We all knew that Mallya was highly unlikely to turn up tomorrow, that is on March 18, for questioning, as we have been reporting throughout the week. But clearly it was in the afternoon around 4 p.m. when we broke the story, when ED sources confirmed that Vijay Mallya for the first time communicated officially saying he will not be attending the ED office summons tomorrow for questioning. Rather, he would make himself available as early as April 1st week. So clearly, although not a specific date has been given, there are indications that April 1st week is when we could expect Mallya to come here right at the ED office in Mumbai. Having said that, we need to also take into consideration the March 30th Supreme Court hearing where SBI-led 17 consortium bankers have filed an appeal in the Supreme Court for the cancellation of Vijay Mallya's passport, for which a notice has been served and 15 days being given. The hearing comes on March 30th. So clearly, all indication it's around March last week when we could expect Vijay Mallya to touch back on Indian shores from London, where currently is holed up. And clearly, ED sources are saying they will stick to the protocol because this was just the first summons, and the time that they get in the next 15 days, they will try and question the PSU bankers. To begin with, IDBI officials would be questioned tomorrow. And just to add, today was also a crucial day because Joint Director of ED along with Special Director and Joint Director in ED Mumbai were into a huddle to try and strategize their whole game plan for this sensitive case. As we all know, Mallya's key aides have been questioned for almost 4 days now. So clearly they are taking this time to try and understand and question some of the banking officials from PSU banks, with, as I was saying, IDBI to begin with tomorrow. So clearly tomorrow Mallya is not turning up, and all eyes would be on the exact date. It would be somewhere around April 1st week when Mallya will be questioned finally by Enforcement Directorate.
All right, Vijay Ganeshan, you're breaking that big story earlier in the day today and joining us from right outside the ED headquarters to fill us in with details right now. Hold your thoughts there and let's get in Krishanu Mukherjee joining us right outside the CBI headquarters here in the national capital. And looks like, Krishanu, the investigative agency will now widen the scope of its investigations and probe all banks that dealt with the Kingfisher Airlines since 2004. What's the update you have for us right now?
Yes, that's correct, Supriya. Allow me to put this as 5 gargantuan points of news. Firstly, the CBI has widened the horizon and the scope of its investigation from the 900 crores that they were looking at so far to all the 7,000 crores lent to it by the 17 bank consortium. The second big piece of news is that so far they were only probing the loan given by IDBI Bank, but now they're going to be looking at the loans given by each one of those banks. And what we're getting to know from the CBI is that any one of these banks, all the 17 banks, could be questioned if the need arises. The third big piece of news is that what we're getting to know from the CBI is that all the banks, none of the banks have filed complaints with the CBI so far, and IDBI Bank was asked not once but twice by the CBI if they saw any wrongdoing on the part of Kingfisher Airlines in their loans, and both of the times IDBI Bank had said that they did not see any wrongdoing, and after which CBI went ahead and filed its own FIR, so motu. They had also asked United Bank of India, beg your pardon, another lender in this case, the same question if they saw any wrongdoing, to which United Bank of India had also given a similar reply that it did not see any wrongdoing. The fourth piece of news is that the CBI is looking at 5 lakh transactions made by Kingfisher Airlines dating back all the way to 2004. From 2004, 60% of which, that's almost 3 lakh transactions, of these were routed abroad. The fifth piece of news, which is the colossal big piece of news, is that the CBI was so far looking at this only from the willful default angle, and they're now going to start looking at it from the cheating angle. So this is the fifth big piece of news. And putting together all these 5 pieces of news means a smorgasbord of trouble for Vijay Mallya and the beleaguered Kingfisher Airlines.
More trouble as the CBI cracks the whip. Krishanu reporting live from Delhi. Stay with us, guys, because I want to pause and take this one special report. Not too long ago, Vijay Mallya's intangible Kingfisher brand was believed to be worth 4,000 crore rupees. Yes, hold your breath, 4,000 crore rupees. But today, even the 17,000 square feet Kingfisher house in Mumbai is not worth 150 crores. Supriya?
That is absolutely right, Sandeep, because Vijay Mallya borrowed over 9,000 crore rupees from banks sitting in this very building, which actually headquartered the Kingfisher Airlines. But today, as the banks tried to recover their dues, the airline is grounded. There are no takers for this building. And yes, you heard that story first and exclusively right here on ET Now. Let's quickly get you up to date with that story before we move on this entire coverage forward.
This cozy building in a Mumbai suburb was once house to Kingfisher Airlines, quite literally. But there are hardly any takers for Kingfisher House, which went under the hammer on Thursday. KFA's banks, which are saddled with over bad loans of 7,000 crore rupees, had put the KFA house on auction, hoping to recover some money. But their plans have now been grounded, with no buyer turning up for the property. Stakes are high for the State Bank of India and 16 other lenders that have been running helter-skelter ever since Kingfisher Airlines was grounded some 2 years ago. The lenders' consortium is also under attack for extending loans to Kingfisher without enough collateral. The no-show auction confirms the fears that it will be an uphill task for banks to liquidate assets to recover debt. Property brokers say the market value of Kingfisher House is just around 50 crore rupees, whereas the base price was kept at 150 crore rupees. Banks insist that they've done enough due diligence while extending mammoth loans to Kingfisher, and they will extract their pound of flesh from liquidating Mallya's assets. But many are not convinced, especially after the flop show on Thursday. Neha Bothra and Tanya Bharadwaj, ET Now, Mumbai.
All right, let's actually take it across to Neha Bothra, who broke that story earlier in the day today, right here on ET Now. Congratulations, Neha, for breaking that big story. But no takers for KFA House. Banks had pinned their big hopes on this one. And now it seems it's going to be a big setback for the consortium at large, isn't it?
Well, yesterday turned out to be a flop show as far as the auction of Kingfisher House is concerned. Remember, the reserve price was pegged at 150 crore rupees, and according to sources, market participants and brokers, the price was perhaps a bit too steep. We are given to understand that the market value of Kingfisher House as of date is not more than 50 crore rupees. However, do remember that even the Income Tax Department had laid claim to the property, and they too said that Vijay Mallya owes them over 700 crore rupees. All in all, it remains to be seen how this auction will pan out, considering that bankers are trying to rework the schedule and notify these as and when these are finalized. More importantly, we are given to understand that there is an auction of cars and furniture of Kingfisher House likely tomorrow. We have to see what the response to that is. But as far as the debt picture for banks is concerned, remember, over 7,000 crore rupees is what Vijay Mallya owes to banks, and liquidation of this property was expected to bring some relief to banks. However, it remains to be seen how this will pan out, but for now, clearly a big setback coming in for banks.
first round of e-auction has been a complete fail.
150 crore rupees was the reserve price, and we are given to understand that the property could be not more than 50 crore rupees.
E-auction, as well as what we're getting, is that there have been no takers for the Kingfisher house in Mumbai.
So this was the first property which went under the hammer for the liquidation process of Vijay Mallya's assets. Maybe the valuation would be relooked and maybe the base price would be reduced and the re-auctioning would happen sometime later.
We'll stay with that big story. Chandra now joins in from Bengaluru as well. You know, Vijay Mallya was digging in his heels, but looks like he's been forced to step down from Royal Challengers Bangalore as well, the cricket team, the IPL team, where he was a director. What's going on? BCCI also finally taking note?
That's right. Russell Adams is going to be the new head of Royal Challengers Bangalore after Vijay Mallya's resignation as director. And this was intimated to the BCCI on in the first week of March, just a few days after Vijay Mallya left India for London. Now, it's not completely come as a surprise, because remember, in his mail where he talks about the settlement with Diageo, he has said that he will become the chief mentor of RCB and that his son Siddhartha Mallya will continue to be as director of RCB, because both of them are very passionate about this IPL franchise. So that's exactly what Russell has also communicated to BCCI, that he will be heading RCB and that Vijay Mallya will continue in the role of a mentor. Siddhartha Mallya will also continue as director. Now remember, RCB's fortunes haven't looked right in the last couple of years. It's loss-making. It's now controlled by Diageo, by United Spirits. And there have been reports that they've been looking for a sale. Jindal almost bought it out. So the future of the franchise seems unclear. But Vijay Mallya clearly out of it for now.
All right, Chandra, Neha, Vijay, Krishanu, thank you very much for joining us with every leg of that story. And we are getting you this coverage like no other channel on Indian television really is. Every corner covered right here on India Tonight as far as Vijay Mallya and the Mallya Gate is concerned. But we're not done with that story just yet. We all know the king of good times is in the dock. But what about his most trusted brand, which is Kingfisher beer? Will the brand fizzle out amidst the Mallya mess, or will it weather the storm and come right on top?
Well, Sonali Krishna put these questions to the best brand minds in the business, and here's a small excerpt of that conversation.
The main brand is a product brand. If we were talking about a professional services brand where the head of the organization himself is under some kind of shadow, that entire shadow is cast on all the employees. Here we are talking about a very strong product brand. And the if in this entire equation is, it will continue to be strong so long as it continues to meet customer expectations with newer and newer products, as it has done in the past.
Kingfisher as a brand is a very fun brand, and
so is Vijay Mallya.
Yeah, and it's a beer brand. So actually, you know, it's like a mischievous child running the company, and he's gone errant and he's gone missing. So in a sense, maybe it has even helped the Kingfisher brand. I mean, he's not a stiff guy who wears, you know, bow tie. He wears a bow tie when he goes to fancy parties, but he's a party guy, and he's an errant child. So he's made a mistake. Probably guys who are guzzling beer are saying, hey, he's a cool guy. I wish I was him. I would probably be worried if it was, let's say, a life-saving medicine, you know, and therefore I'll be worried, you know, if the guy has run away, so God knows what all does he puts in the medicine. But it's a beer brand, it's a fun brand, he's having a good time. So I'm sure in bars around the country, Kingfisher sale is ticking as always.
The only objection, I think, the young people today in this country, who are the main consumers of Kingfisher, the only thing that they can actually point against him today, if anything is a bad point, is that he left the employees of Kingfisher Airlines in the lurch. Otherwise, there are a whole lot of guys who, Rajan, who's head of the Reserve Bank, has now bought out. There's some 30 odd industrialists who owe the banks in this country and this country some God knows how many millions of crores.
100,000 crores.
Yeah, 10,000 crores.
100,000 crores.
100,000 crores. Now, Vijay Mallya, if you look at the larger picture, is really, you know, I mean, he ran because everybody was after his skin.
The Kingfisher brand per se was ring-fenced. So today, the lenders have no recourse to the Kingfisher brand. You can't touch that brand.
Okay.
Because the intrinsic value of the brand lies in the beer business.
Sure.
What was offered as collateral technically was the Kingfisher airline brand. But I think it was positioned as though the entire Kingfisher brand was being offered. Ultimately, even when the banks did their own internal valuation, the value which was they came up with, I believe, was 160 crores, not more than that.
For KFA.
So how are you giving a loan of that size against something which is 160 crores? Even that I doubt.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.